Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a holiday makeup tutorial on this look right here. I dabbled into a few different eyeshadow palettes to achieve this look, but you guys can definitely use whatever eyeshadows you have in your collection that would achieve a similar look. I really wanted to try out the Laura Mercier Hidden Gems eyeshadow palette, but most of the shadows in here are shimmers, so I did need to find other mattes to kind of go with the shades that I was using on the lid, and I kind of created my own shade over here with the layering of the different colors from different palettes, but I'm sure that you guys could achieve a very similar look. So if you guys are interested to see how I created this, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is prime my skin, and today I'm going to be using the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. I'm going to be taking a pump of this onto my Morphe M436 brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and stipple this all over my face, particularly in my cheek area, not so much in my forehead, to hydrate my skin in the drier parts, because my forehead is always a little bit oily, but my cheeks in the winter do get very dehydrated. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation in the shade 3N2 Honey. This is a really good match for me right now, as I've kind of lost the majority of my tan from the summer. The only thing that I have to say about this packaging is that the foundation does get dry right at the end of the nozzle, and it is a bit messy when you then pump it out the next time, because it has to pump past the drier part, and you don't really get that much foundation out per pump. It's a very small amount. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush, and this is a drier formula foundation, so I do like to work pretty quickly with it, otherwise it does get a little bit hard to blend, but it does a great job of covering. I love how lightweight it looks on the skin. Even if my skin is a little bit drier, it still does a really good job of not sitting on the surface and really melting into the skin. So I like to do my lower half of my face first. I really like to push the product into the skin. When your skin is drier, or when you're using a drier formula foundation, you don't want to do buffing motions, because then you're going to kind of exfoliate your skin, and it's going to disrupt the drier areas, and it'll start to flake and get a little bit weird, and that's when you will see more visible texture. So just use pushing motions into the skin if you are experiencing that. Just a little bit more on my forehead, and then we will be moving on. For concealer today, I'm going to be using a drop of my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. I take off most of the product on the brush, and then I just put a little bit, not directly at my under eye lash line area. I do leave a little bit of space, and then I put some over here as well to blend up in the more discolored section of my under eye area, and then I will put a little bit on my nose as well, and then whatever is left over on the brush, that is what I'm going to use to highlight the other areas in the center of my face. But I'm just going to be pushing this product in. With concealer, you do also want to push in when you swipe. You don't get as much coverage in that area, so you want to do pushing motions to not, first of all, disrupt the foundation that's underneath, and to get the most coverage out of your product. And to blend that out, I'm using the Sigma F79 brush. To set underneath my eyes, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder on my double-ended hourglass brush. I'm just going to be taking the smaller end, and I'm taking a little bit of powder on the inside of the lid of my powder, and then I'm going to be pushing some powder in underneath the eye area. And I'm not using a ton of powder here. Again, my skin is a little bit drier this time of year, so I like to just pick up a little bit of powder. I swirl it around, get a lot in the actual brush itself, and then I just push in whatever is in the brush onto both eyes, and I don't dip back in or get more product. However, for the perimeter of my skin, I want to add a little bit of luminosity, so I'm going to go into the Translucent Glow Powder on the finishing brush by Laura Mercier, and I'm just very lightly going to stipple everywhere else on the perimeter of my face. And this foundation dries pretty matte, but with this powder, it's going to give a little bit of a glow to the skin, so it's not going to look as flat, as dry, or as one-dimensional. It's going to add a lot of healthy glow to the skin. For bronzer, I still do like to fake a little bit of a tan, so I'm going to go in with my Burberry bronzer in the shade number 4, Summer Glow, and this is just a big bronzer brush that I found in a set a long time ago at Walmart. And especially in the winter months, you definitely don't want to forget to bronze up your neck as well. For blush today, I'm going to be using something a bit more neutral. This one right here is Baby Love by Too Faced. If you guys want to see a full face of Too Faced, let me know in the comment section because I think that I can do it. I don't know. I think that the only thing that I'm missing is a highlighter, but I can go pick one up. If you guys want to see that, I can definitely make that work. Let me know in the comments. And then for highlighter, it's that time of year where I break back out my Pink Glow by Bobbi Brown. Oh my god, you guys, this is still my favorite highlighter of all time. It's so pretty. I'm obsessed with it, so I'm just going to quickly bathe in it because I have not worn it since last winter and I really missed it. I love it. Okay, so I just did my brows off camera using the Bomb Ass Brows Desi Perkins and Benefit collaboration kit. I am going to be doing a full video about that, so if you're interested, keep your eyes peeled. But now I'm just going to clip half of my hair back and we'll get started on the eyes. So I got sent this Laura Mercier Hidden Gems eyeshadow palette in the mail. This is one of their holiday palettes this year. It's super pretty. I have not played around with it much yet. I swatched a few shades, but haven't done much with it. Most of them are shimmery shades. So I'm just grabbing my Natasha Denona Camel palette because there are a few neutral tone transition shades that I'm going to be pairing with this palette today. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the middle shade in this palette. It is called Safari, this one right here, and I am going to go ahead and use my Laura Mercier finishing ponytail brush as my crease brush, and I'm going to be placing this color right into the crease and starting to just wing it out ever so slightly in the outer corner. I do have a lot of product on my brush, so I'm going to go ahead and start the shape on the other side too. And now that I've mapped that out, I'm just going to quickly tap off the excess and then I'll go in and start blending that out from the outer corner to the inner corner and making sure to keep this outer corner kind of a cat eye to lift my eye. Next up, I'm going to be taking this shade right here, which is called Zand, on the same brush, just a little bit of it, and I'm going to take it just slightly lower than we placed that first transition shade, and I'm going to start deepening it up. Okay, so I think that I'm at a good place right now. I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to start going in with some of my shimmer shades from my Laura Mercier palette. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here. It's called Polished Brass, and I'm going to be taking that on a Laura Mercier eye coloring brush. It's just a flat shader brush basically, and I am going to be picking up some of this color and I am going to place it, let's just take it on the first half of the lid. I'm deciding what I want to do as we're going. So this shade is super pretty. It almost has a little bit of like green, yellow, and like a frosty white reflex to it. So I'm actually going to keep it just on the front half of my lid. So next up, what I'm going to do, I'm jumping around a little bit here with palettes because, again, there aren't any matte shades in here to put anywhere else. I'm going to go into my Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I'm first going to be taking the shade right here. I have no idea what it's called. My palette didn't come with names on the back, so it's this second one in. And then I think that I'm also going to go in with these two shades after, but we'll see. I'm going to start with this one first, and I'm actually going to be layering a color on top of it. But let's start with that first. I'm going to be taking my Sigma E55 flat shader brush. I'm going to take very little of it because I know that it's super pigmented, and I'm just going to place a little bit of it right next door. And I'm actually not trying to build the intensity up of it too much because the first color that we have put down is a lot lighter than this one. So next I'm going to go in with my brush again with that shimmer shade that we have on the first third of the lid, and I'm just going to place this on top of it. And then I'm going to go back in with this teal matte shade, and I'm going to blend those two colors together even further in the center. This process is a lot of back and forth and blending, so just be patient with it, especially because we're working with a matte and a shimmer. So next up I'm going to be going into this dark green color right here. It's like a super dark green camo color, and I'm taking it on a fluffy blender brush. I'm taking a super small amount of it because it is very pigmented, and I'm going to be placing this on the outer corner of the eye. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be deepening up the outer corner, and I'm going to be using it to kind of lift this cat eye shape a little bit further. And we'll be connecting it to our transition shades. So I just like to place the color, map out what I want to do first, and then I blend everything out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean blending brush. This is the Zoeva 228 Luxie crease brush, and I'm just very lightly going to be going in circular motions over this whole area. There's no additional product in here. I'm just going to be blending the crease into the outer corner. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in and layer some more of that shimmer shade over the center and kind of in to this outer corner a little bit. And then I'm going to go back in with that deep color we have in the outer corner. So now I'm going to take whatever is left over on this brush with that dark matte shade, and I'm just going to connect to the outer corner of my lower lash line a little bit and bring it up and out into this whole situation so that there's no disconnect. And I'm actually going to go in with just a drop of the matte black in the Laura Mercier palette, just on top right where this like faux wing is happening. Next up, I'm going to go with this shimmery white shade right here in the palette on a small smudge brush by Laura Mercier, and I'm going to be taking the smallest amount right at the upper part of my tear duct in my inner corner. And then for the lower lash line, right in the outer part, I'm going to be going in with a little bit of this blue, and I'm going to connect it with a little bit of this mossy green shade. This is the color we had on the lid, so I'm going to do this into this. And I'm just wiggling that like at the base of my lashes. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of L'Oreal Telescopic, and then the eyes will be done. Now it's time for lips. This is the Laura Mercier Bare Blush Lip Gloss. It's just a really pretty cool tone nude lip gloss. I haven't really been liking to do too much to my lips recently just because I have mentioned before in videos I do have eczema on my lips, and especially in the winter, it's just a mess with lipstick, So this is the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this holiday makeup tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.